Chapter 52. The Agony Uncle. This short chapter is twofold. As I stated at the very beginning, my dating journey has things various people can take away. Like if you're a young man starting out in a dating scene, there's something there for you. If you're a man with experience, there's plenty of things that you can relate to. Or if you're simply bored and you need some entertainment or mental stimulation. Or if you're a woman interested in the way a working class man thinks. And the second fold, this corresponds with the chapter to follow. During my daily run of deliveries working for the company that had that abbreviated nickname of Don't Have Lunch, there were companies on my route that I delivered to daily. So on doing so, I got to know quite a few of the people that worked in the post room or the dispatch room. And there's one company in particular, I got on very well with the staff at the dispatch room or the post room. Now, one of the members of the staff was a young woman who originated from Pakistan. Those of you who have seen that classic film, one of my all-time favorite films, East is East, she was very similar to the woman that played the daughter of the main character. Anyway, during the usual daily banter I had with the staff, the subject of Viagra came up. And that's when I heard Najma, the lady in question, whisper to herself, "Oh, my boyfriend needs that." Now, I didn't say anything straight away because I didn't want to embarrass the woman. But a few days later, she actually came to me for my advice on the situation she found herself in. Now, of course, the lads wasn't in the post room at the time. They were out doing deliveries. But she asked me, she wanted to know my opinion. The long and short of the problem was they had problems in the bedroom, which basically led her to believe that her boyfriend needed to take Viagra because things just wasn't standing up the way they should be, if you know what I mean. So being the dating battlefield ranger that I was, or Jedi Knight, I needed to get some information out of her to assess the problem. Now, the first thing I did mentally, I analysed her profile. Her being young, very attractive, slim, I figured she would have a fair pick of guys approaching her. And at the time, she was a bit of a regular at a popular bar in Ealing Broadway. So for any Asians listening who was partying in West London around 1998, I'm more than sure that you would remember the bar called Edwards in Ealing Broadway. Edwards in Ealing was a very popular place amongst young Asians. So comparing Najma's profile with a popular place like Edwards, I figured the guy that she would probably be with would be more of a stylish uptown fella. So I started my investigations by asking first of all, how old was the guy? Najma said he was 27. Then I asked, well, what did he do for a living? Now here is where it really got interesting. She told me he worked in a city. I don't know if he was a stockbroker, but he definitely worked in a city. Now, within 40 seconds to a minute of getting information out of her, I made a few calculations straight away. One, he worked in a city. Not exactly minimum wage. So the guy would have had access to a bit of cash. Cash equals stuff. Stuff equals style. Style equals attraction from many women's point of view. Edwards, quite a popular trendy bar, but having access to cash, Edwards would not be the only place you have access to. Edwards would be merely one of places that you have access to. And being 27 years old with what would be probably a healthy bank balance, by then he wouldn't be no stranger to sexual experience, especially with the artillery he has behind him. And as we all know, working in a city will give you access to having a nice car, having a nice place, having a decent gym membership. So I figured out that we're talking about another ranger here, a dating battlefield ranger, a pussy slayer. Now, one of the advantages of growing up in a multicultural neighborhood such as West London, you get to rub shoulders with people who originate from different parts of the world, and you get to find out a gossip that goes on in their community. Now, please do not shoot the messenger, right? I repeat, do not shoot the messenger. The word amongst my male Asian friends for many years leading up to 1998 that the Indian gals, the Indian women, weren't very adventurous in the bedroom. Oh, sorry, I need to make a correction. Not just Indian women, I should have said Asian women. They were okay to settle down with after you've had your fun outside of the community. You've gained your experience, you've gained your skills, and then you could teach your wife the stuff that you've learnt before you met her. So again, I looked at Najma's profile, her being in her early 20s, Asian family. I thought chances are she probably had a bit of a sheltered life, even though she's partying, but she would have led a fairly sheltered life compared to her Caucasian counterparts. So I got straight to the point and asked Najma a very straight up question. I asked her, when you're in the throes of passion with your boyfriend, what part do you play? What do you do to him? And she had a little bit of a surprise and slightly confused look when I asked her that question. And I repeated myself, well, I said, what do you do to turn him on? And her answer quite surprised me. But it wasn't the actual answer, it's the way she answered me. She said with a very boastful tone in her voice, now that's what surprised me, is the boastful, proud tone in her voice. She said nothing, like as though it was a badge of honor, the way she said nothing. Then she went on to say the motto amongst her friends is, they give nothing away and they take everything from the man. Again, there was a large degree of pride in her voice, as though she was achieving something really fantastic. And that's when I broke the news to her. I said, Najma, there lies your problem. Then she looked at me as to say, well, what do you mean? What do you mean there lies the problem? I said to her, it's just as much as your responsibility to turn him on as it is his responsibility to turn you on. This is precisely what companionship is all about. You do for each other. You're there for each other. You make it your business to find out what turns your partner on. I said, I hate to break it to you, Najma, but you need to make more effort in the bedroom if you want to keep him around. And then once again, she said something with an air of pride in her voice. She said, oh, he's used to those sluts who do all nasty things with him, like, suck him off and stuff like that. And she doesn't. So she viewed herself as a bit of an upgrade. Now, I put this down to her coming from a Muslim background, because in a Muslim culture, a pure woman is something to be cherished, something to be obtained. Hence the carrot of a Muslim terrorist. Martyr yourself and you get 70 virgins up in heaven. In short, the very thing that she thought was a plus was actually a minus. It actually worked against her. All I could say, folks, is watch this space. This shall be continued in the next chapter.